Hello, my lovely Virgos. This Sun Moon Rising, this is your reading for July 13th, or when you hear it and it resonates. So Virgo, the first thing that I saw when I was working with you, now I believe there are probably going to be two separate groups that are going to be addressed here. But when I first started working with this energy, when I started asking for what they were giving you, I saw you walking behind a casket. It's a funeral procession and you're very somber and it's all very gray and everybody's wearing black. And then when you look to your left, oh, there's a New Orleans jazz funeral. The New Orleans funeral, it's kind of like it's a mourning thing, but at the same time, then there's all this wonderful music that happens in the second part where it really turns into a celebration of life. So when you look at that, it's almost as though you're going, well, that's not proper. If we're mourning, we should mourn, but it's also that kind of attitude that can kind of keep you stuck in focusing on what you don't have, what you've lost, as opposed to not just honoring what you do have, but honoring what you did have. Even if it didn't finish right, even if it even if it ended up creating problems, it also brought you life and learning. Every situation that you now want to say was bad or wrong or not enough, sometimes even the not enoughness is the thing that teaches us the most. So what you're being told here, Virgos, is there is the opportunity here for you to look at the way you think about loss. Because the other thing that came up was the word blame and attack. And what you're being told here is that without you realizing it, if you're blaming somebody else or even yourself for the way things turned out, you're saying it turned out wrong. Somebody did something wrong. That is blame. And blame is an energy. Blame is an energy that is aberrant. It's not in alignment with our high heart, because our high heart is based in kindness and it's based in the understanding that we are all here to learn and grow. We're all serving each other in some way towards our growth and our expansion in our consciousness and our ability to love, our ability to be emotionally present and mature, and all those wonderful things that we associate just with healthy relationships. So you're being told. But first of all, I have to say, the other image that came shortly after that one, as I was tuning again, really getting deeper, I felt like you were a small child sitting on a chair with your feet dangling, and I was bringing you a lollipop. And with that, it feels like I need to be kind. I need to be, and you need to be kind, that this is not in any way meant as a criticism. This is not telling you that you're wrong, you're a bad kid. This is saying some of this stuff you're carrying from your childhood, and that as you are allowing yourself to understand that when you lose something, you're also liberated from something, that you can move towards grace, you can move towards divine presence in your life, you can move towards the understanding that whatever you've gone through, you don't have to resist it. You can allow yourself to look at it differently, and see things with a new perspective. Because as you take this new perspective, which is based in divine love, grace, compassion, understanding that we're here to grow, taking it out of all the tiny details and looking at the big picture and saying, I'm here as a soul to grow, and so is everybody else. How do we do that in a way where we can move forward rather than get pulled down by the lessons that have been difficult and painful? There's always something to move through. What we know is when an emotion is fully felt, it gets to change. It doesn't have to stay locked in our body. But this is a very important, Virgo, for you. You have to be willing to give up the idea that holding on to that grudge or that sadness is serving you in some way. When you're willing to let go of that, and you don't even have to know how, but when you're willing to let go of that, that's when things change. The last card that I pulled for you, and this is so important, is the head over heels in love card. How would you feel about any of the loss, any of the blame towards others or the self-blame, any of the attack thoughts that you have. How would that change if you really knew and really embodied the belief that divine love was yours no matter what? That God loved you, adored you, your angels were there for you. You had nothing but divine support for living a fulfilled, loving, abundant life. That you deserved it for no other reason than you are here in a body. That's all. This is a message that's coming up for in various different ways for a lot of people right now. So Virgo, I'm going to leave you with this, with one last thing, because they just reminded me of it. You'll know when you're playing the old song, the old story, where you're kind of stuck in the old energy when you go into resistance. Because resistance is not moving with the flow, it's what holds things back. It's actually also a beautiful red flag for you. When you go into resistance, notice that there is information there for you that you can harvest in order to be able to change your perspective on things, so that you can celebrate life and even celebrate loss. But once you can learn how to really celebrate loss and what you gained both from the experience before you lost it and from the loss of it, that's when everything opens up for you. Okay? I'm going to leave you with that, my dears. Much love and take care.